Hey, all, welcome back. Welcome to the show. Appreciate you stopping in. First of all, before we get going on this segment, I just wanted to apologize for my voice. I'm getting over a cold right now, and it has been kicking my butt. But thank God it's not COVID. So just like a good old-fashioned seasonal transition cold. But tonight's segment, Riley Gaines. Now, mind you, this isn't about everything that happened to her. Everyone's been talking about it more than enough. Every talking head, news station, everyone's all over it. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because what happened to her is actually very disturbing. And it's one thing you go someplace as an ambassador of goodwill just to give a speech, to express your opinion, and you're not allowed to give that opinion because there are individuals there where you're going to be that oppose it. They oppose it so much, they get so angry, they protest, they get violent, and they assault. Unfortunately for Riley, she was assaulted just because she held an opposing view of a group of leftists at San Francisco State University. Now, these violent protesters were actually part of the trans community. Now, it's too bad because it just seems like the community is becoming more prevalent in the news cycles lately. And I'm sure it doesn't reflect on the majority of the trans community. Now, what makes this situation bad, okay, is the violence. The violence against someone who is, you can't even say on the right or where in the political spectrum does she fall? Okay, we really don't know. No one's really asked her where she stands politically. The only thing that we know about her is that she was a dominant high school swimmer, and that she believes that biological men should not participate in women's sports. That's what we know. But the far left actually don't agree with it, and they chose to be violent. They assaulted her and kidnapped her and held her for ransom for hours until that the police, the university police, were able to actually get her free. Now, it's not so much that is the point of this segment tonight. A couple days later, okay, there was a rally in Memphis about gun control. During that rally, they had a very large crowd. And what happened is three Democrat representatives, came out and actually started protesting with the protesters, which in their right, they have the right to do. If they want to protest against gun violence, the three Democrats have every right. But where that stops is when those three Democrats actually started inciting violence against the Capitol. We've seen the videos. Of course, the mainstream media is not going to show them to you. Now, it's sad. It's truly, truly sad. The three of them were expelled. Two of them were able to get their seats back. Now, there's a lot of things that both sides of the aisle say. Like, we want to fight for this. We want to, do whatever, and it's just rhetoric. We know it's rhetoric. But the problem is your constituents don't know it's rhetoric because they look up to you and they look to you as leaders. Because unfortunately, there are just some people out there that, well, I'm just going to say it, they're just dumb. And they're sheep. And they need something. They need the anger. They need the rage. They need something to fight against, physically or protest-wise, anything. And after the three of them were actually removed from their seats, and a couple days later, our vice president went down there and actually spoke. And I want you to, I'm going to play the whole segment. It's going to be about 2 minutes, but I want you to listen to what she says. I want you to listen to what she says. And it's a little, I'm not going to say it's disturbing, but it's something that I wish everybody on each side of the aisle keeps in mind, and how everything is portrayed.
Courage to say that a democracy, they chose to lead and show courage to say that a democracy allows for places where the people's voice will be heard and honored and respected. And they understood the importance, these three, of standing to say the people will not be silenced, to say that a democracy hears the cries, hears the pleas, who hears the demands of its people, who say the children should be able to live and be safe and go to school and not be in fear. They said, we understand when we took an oath to represent the people who elected us, that we speak on behalf of them. It wasn't about the three of these leaders. It was about who they were representing. It's about whose voices they were channeling. Understand that. And is that not what a democracy allows? A democracy says you don't silence the people. You do not stifle the people. You don't turn off their microphones when they are speaking about the importance of life and liberty. That is not what a democracy does.
So yeah, that's not what a democracy does. You don't stifle the speech of individuals that are actually, speaking about liberty or rights for a group of women. But yet, our vice president can say that those three Democrats can incite violence, but they're just actually projecting the will of their constituents. There's a difference. There's a double standard. And there's a democratic double standard. Very simple. It's okay for them to incite violence and be violent. But as soon as someone anywhere to the right of them, anywhere, they can be to the far left, but you can be just slightly to the right of them, even in the middle. You're a fascist. You're a Nazi. And they will do whatever it takes to stifle your speech, and they will silence you. For them, the First Amendment is about freedom of speech. For them, they have the right to speak freely and say what they need to say. But if you're anywhere to the right of them, anywhere to the right, you can be left of center, in the center. But as soon as you actually start speaking, they silence you. When they talk about our democracy, they're not talking about you and me. They're talking about them, their party. That's it. Their democracy, not ours, as in like ours, theirs. Anytime that anyone, left of center, center, even just right of center, has anything to say, you go to any university, you see what they've done to Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro. It's sad. And they say that those of us that are in the center or on the right, we're the fascists. We're the ones that are actually inciting violence. I think we all deep down know who the fascists really are. Eventually, it's going to come to a head someplace. And I hope to God I'm not around to see it. So think about those double standards out there. And there are a bunch of people out there that actually think the Democrats are doing right. They're doing right by stifling free speech. Amazing. Amazing. How a lot of you can actually be out there supporting a party like that. But it's okay, because all you do is you see what they, feed you on CNN, MSNBC, or your major news networks. You refuse to actually look at the real footage. You only look at the clips that they feed you rather than going out and look at the real thing. I mean, I don't know. It's frustrating. It's frustrating for people like myself that have just the simplest, just a little bit of common sense. I'm not a very educated man, but I know right and wrong. And I know what my rights are. Democrats are trying to take them. More ways than one. It's a shame. Riley Gaines should have been allowed to speak at that university. But no. The left wants to take that away from her. Just like they want to take it away from you. And me. But that's what this was today. It's too bad. I just wanted to really point out the double standards. And they exist. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.